Alright, what's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back in here on PlayStation Source. And of course, Avengers just got a bunch of different stuff announced with like the Wakanda expansion and all that great stuff. However, they did get a brand new upgrade for the PS5 that we're going to compare, contrast, and go over. But first, let's go over what it means to transfer from PS4 to PS5. Now, there is a free upgrade, so of course, if you have the PS4 copy, whether on disc or digital version, you can of course transfer over to PS5 and use that copy. There's no charge included. However, the save is a little bit of a hassle, quote unquote. Okay, like online, it's blowing up a lot that you know, it's a lot more of a cumbersome thing to do as opposed to Xbox's whole idea of how they do save transfers. And I get it, I'm not gonna lie, right? It is a lot easier on the Xbox side, but I do feel that, like, I think that, you know, I'm not sure why this specific way of doing the save transfer on the PS5 is getting this much attention right now, because this is the exact same way that we did it on Spider-Man Remastered, on Crash 4 last week, and it's the same exact process here, where you just have to boot up the PS4 version with the latest update, initiate the save transfer, and then go over to PS5, and it'll automatically just bring over that save down, and you'll be all good to go. Okay, so it's a little bit of a hassle, I get it, but it's not the end of the world. It's not that crazy. Like, this tweet thread here is really kind of overblowing, and really just making sure that everyone is aware of how to do the save. And like, honestly, all you need to really do is focus on that first tweet. That's really how you do it, you know what I'm saying? So overall, there is a save thing that you got to do, not the end of the world. But what will you be getting with the next gen upgrade of Marvel Avengers on PlayStation 5? You will of course be getting over here on this nice little spreadsheet. We're gonna run down just the list, you know, top to bottom, and we'll let y'all know how this all goes. Okay, so PlayStation 5 native version, you will be getting the 60 FPS checkerboard 4K if you're on the performance mode, and you will be getting native 4K on the fidelity mode in this game as well. So you are going to be getting a little bit of a lower resolution and overall like lower quality in terms of like shadowing and different, you know, textures, and like the render distance as well is a little bit brought down on the performance mode, but you will be getting that 60 frames per second, and the native 4K version is going to have all the bells and whistles, look fantastic and all that. I just don't want to play in 30 frames. However, I did, you know, do some research, and the native 4K version on PS5 is a very consistent and locked 30 frames per second. So if you're cool with 30 frames, it is a very consistent 30 frames, which is better than an inconsistent 30 frames, which is how I found the Avengers game to run on PS4. I felt that it was very much not that, you know, stable and everything, and like even the like 60 frames version on the PS4 version just wasn't that, you know, smooth for me personally, so I just did not like it that way. But here on PS5, we are smooth living. It's consistent on either 60 or 30. You love to see it. Now, of course, we have cross-gen matchmaking on this version, cross-gen save file import like we went over just now, faster load times, which we will definitely emphasize in a little bit, because oh my god, this game loads crazy. Actually, they highlight it here. You know what I'm saying? So on this graph, they have two different lines. They have faster load times and then significantly faster load times, with the native PS5 version checking off that box. So yes, it is significantly faster load times that we will get to later on, but improved frame rate versus PS4 is obviously right there as well. Improved heroics and armor destruction versus PS4. We have something called stochastic screen space reflections, content aware sharpening, high resolution translucency, improve ambient occlusion, improve anisotropic texturing, spatial audio, haptic feedback. All that means is that the game looks gorgeous. I'm not no tech guru. I don't know the ins and outs of, you know, how a game you know, uses its, you know, overall assets to make it look great, but I do know that the PS5 version of Avengers looks vastly improved over the PS4. That's pretty easy to tell. So overall, I want to hit a few things here on this video while we are going over everything. But you know, overall thesis statement, yes, the PlayStation 5 version of Avengers looks fantastic. That needs to be really unsaid here. You know, obviously you're gonna get a better looking game, but I want to talk more about how the game runs, the load times, and other aspects of this update for next gen. So first up here, they do have the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers already on by default when you load the PS5 version of the game. I do gotta say, I felt that these two elements are brought up a little bit too too much by default on the base game. I felt that it was a, you know, very much a nuisance in a way to even like throw cap shield with R2. It felt like there was too much resistance in there, something that I was not used to. And the way I throw cap shield, I like to rapid fire that thing, you know what I'm saying? Like I like to throw it out, kick it back to me, throw it out again. So I like to really quickly, you know, throw that shield in and out. Definitely the triggers was not working with me for that standpoint. So I did bring it down all the way to, I think I have it on level 2. I think at my default it's at level 10. So I will say it's impressive at how, you know, the cranked up version of those features really make you feel like you're holding the shield and really, you know, make you feel the power of it. But I do think that is a little bit too distracting from my personal standpoint. So I did bring that thing down a little bit. Now essentially, you know, I did some research, right? And so the PS5 performance mode is essentially the PS4 Pro's fidelity mode in 60 frames per second with the added things that we added onto the list, like those, you know, crazy higher resolution translucency, content aware sharpening, and like all those extra bells and whistles added onto it. So it's essentially at its core the PS4 Pro fidelity mode in a better frame rate overall. So it looks great. I was rocking the PS5 performance mode on this video because I don't want to play in 30 frames, so that's just how that goes right there. But definitely a very good performance mode in my opinion. Let's talk a little bit about those load times, because I know you guys have been seeing them on the timeline, and I gotta say, listen, the load time preaching is real. The load times are insane on this version of Avengers. Like for real, there are some stats and some comparisons where to load a specific mission, it takes like over a minute on PS4 and it takes like 4 seconds on PS5. Like it is that drastic. It is insane. This game boots up so quick now, it is beyond me. Like for real, on the PS4 Pro, I was waiting. Like I was over here doing my taxes, I was making lunch while the game was loading. It would take forever to load a game on Avengers, but now on the PS5 it is very snappy, very responsive, and I think it's one of the best parts of this version. Like yeah, it looks better, but you know, honestly, the real cream of this whole entire update is those load times and the overall performance of this version as a whole, because it really takes advantage of the hardware. And I think it was a different company that did this version. I think it's Nexus that did this upgrade patch for the game. They did a fantastic job. This game is running spectacular on next gen hardware. But overall, you know, thesis statement, you know, we have the load times, they're great, the game looks great, but overall I think that this game has a much smoother feel for the game overall, and it really has sold me on playing the DLC that I missed out on as this game was cooking over the past few months and beginning content solely. We have Kate Bishop, we have Hawkeye and everything. So and now, you know, with this new news about you know, Wakanda coming on and other different DLC drops throughout the year, I'm really sold on playing through what I missed on this game because of this next gen version. On PS4 Pro, Avengers had this like jank, this like inconsistent like performance wise jank to it that, you know, maybe it's because I was on performance mode, I don't know, but like, you know, given those on performance mode, it should be hitting those in a better way. And like, I'm just not gonna play a game like this in 30 frames, so I don't even really take into account the 4K mode and all that. But I just remember the game feeling like so janky and just so like, you know, unpolished on the PS4 Pro version in performance mode. But now here on PS5 on performance mode, it runs great. Like it runs smooth, flawless. I feel like there's no janky feeling to it, and I feel like this is definitely I hope a new page in this game's life, you know what I'm saying? Because like, I mean, come on, you don't want to see games die, right? But I really feel like this next gen version is really a turning point in this game's life, because the game feels fantastic now, you know, and it does call into question, should this game have been saved for next gen? Honestly, I would probably have voted for that, honestly, just to see this game. Like, I wish this was my first impression of Avengers as opposed to PS4 Pro back on last gen. But overall, guys, if you have this game, I implore you guys to check it out. This version is great. It's a free update. You might as well check it out for yourself, see the new content, because I really do feel like this is one of the better upgrades we've had from PS4 to PS5. And nope, I do got one thing to say about this version. It is going to increase in file size, so it went up to about 60 gigs to about 70 gigs for the PS5 version, so definitely keep that in mind. You're gonna be having a little bit more of a boost, but honestly, I think that all the things that they added to this game with the next gen version, I think it's worth it for that extra 10 gigs gigs that you'll be taking up in your hard drive. So that is all I had to say about Avengers on PS5. Let me know, guys, on the footage. Did you see the difference? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you gonna check it out? Are you not gonna check it out? Let me know your thoughts on this update down below in that comment section. And make sure also, while you are down there, you can check out our description where you can find links to our Discord, our Twitter, and the Anchor link. That way you can listen to our long form content in podcast format. Those, of course, being the Road to series and Save Slot podcast as well. Like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as hit subscribe to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.